Good morning, guys. It's Friday, July 1st. I had a nice rest last night. I stayed up watching videos and doing my little house chores. Went to bed and got up this morning at about 7:15. I'm all cleaned up. I added some oil to my engine of my car because I always keep a close eye on the oil level. And here I am. I'm dressed up with my jeans, my tank top, and today I'm carrying my concealed weapon on me. Yes, I am. I have to get used to the idea of carrying my conceal because I do have a license. I haven't been carrying concealed, not on my person, but in my purse. I have it here behind my waist, here under my tank top, which is nice and loose. And that's what I have to get used to. So before I continue, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers and to those visitors visiting just for the first time. If you find something that resonates with you, please consider on subscribing. We'll be back with more. Yeah, so the conversation is I have to get used to carrying my concealed carry weapon. There's many instances on a weekly basis where I have to go to the bank and I never go inside. I always go through the ATM, which I have to get out of the car and go stand there and make my withdrawals. Once in a great while, I might go to the drive-thru, very seldom. And you never know who's going to be approaching you, or you're going to encounter someone when you're at the ATM making a withdrawal. There's been a lot of incidences where people actually get robbed while they're withdrawing money, and we know this. It doesn't matter what time of day. A lot of the times it's happened at night, and the police recommends not withdrawing money from the ATM at nighttime because you can't see who's around you. You don't know who's watching you or planning something evil. So I try to go to the ATM during the day when everybody's using the ATM, when everybody's at the bank. But it doesn't stop a thief from robbing you during the day. So I'm gonna go do my little transaction and I'll be right back. So the first of the month, as you know, is the busiest banking transactions. Why? Because most senior citizens' deposits go in on the first of every single month. If you're a veteran, if you're collecting Veterans Affairs benefits, Social Security benefits, it's first of the month. So the senior citizens, they're up early. They got to get their check or their money out. Most people use the debit cards for everything, but if they have to have that withdrawal, they want to get it as soon as they can. I'm not a senior citizen. I just move my money around to conduct my savings program. So it's only 25 past 9 and it's already 82 degrees out. Yeah, that explains my tank top. I don't like direct sunlight in my face. I'm not looking to get a tan, as you know. I'm not a big tanning person. But I do like wearing my tank top when it's just too hot out. No t-shirt or anything else will keep you cooler than your tank top. So I'm coming back home here so I can leave my cash here at home. I don't like carrying cash with me. Later on, I'll transfer it. Yeah. It's a beautiful Friday morning. The skies are blue. There's a slight breeze going on, which feels really good. I like it. So today I've decided to take out my drone. Okay, haven't taken it out in a while. Last time I took it out was Memorial Weekend. Remember that? I flew overhead over the sailboats and the powerboats. Yeah, that was the last time. So last night I charged it up, all 3 batteries, to keep them healthy anyway. And today I'm just gonna stretch its legs. We'll be right back. So anyway, the first of the month, or the first week of the month, I don't have a large cash deposit into my savings. Because the first of every month, my HOA dues are due. So therefore, I don't withdraw a whole lot because my HOA dues are set on automatic withdrawals from my checking. And when I see the withdrawal go through, then I find out how much I can actually save. But in Florida, most employment pays you on a bi-weekly basis. Now, the good thing with me is my part-time job, they pay me weekly. And so every week I have a single deposit going in, but every bi-weekly I have double deposit going in. And the second and third week of the month is where I make my larger deposits into my savings. And that's how come I managed to accumulate a large savings when I began my savings program. Yeah. So I'm a little bit hungry this morning. I have my protein shake with me, but it's not enough. I'm a little hungry. Last night, all I had was one meal, and that was at my full-time job. When I came home, all I had for lunch was fruit, grapes and orange. That's all I had. So this morning I'm actually very, very starving. So I'm gonna stop and grab me an egg sandwich, an egg and biscuit sandwich, and then I'm gonna go to a spot that I'm familiar with and take the drone out and just exercise it. Last night I was up updating new software into my drone. Every few months, the drone companies or DJI, they put out new software, and these things are important to keep your systems functioning at its optimum. And I'm good with staying on top of that. It gives me added confidence that when I take my drone out, it's got the latest downloads available. Okay, it could be some kind of navigating software, or it can be a home point software or something that keeps my drone up to date. And that gives me the confidence that when I'm driving, when I'm flying over the ocean, or I'm flying somewheres that I lose sight of my drone, but only through my screen, then I know that the chances of it crashing or getting lost is minimum. Yeah. It's Friday morning and traffic is not so bad. A lot of people may be on vacation right now, and with the 4th of July weekend coming up, you can bet there's a lot of people coming down here. For the past 20 years, they've been having a fireworks display. The only time they didn't have it was when COVID lockdowns were at its peak. And then they didn't have nothing because they were afraid that people were going to spread more COVID, so they didn't have it. But that was only one time out of the 20 years. Yeah, guys, so I just had my little egg and cheese croissant sandwich, and I still got some protein shake left, and I'm kind of drinking on that. I feel very satisfied now. It didn't take much to satisfy me. So that egg and cheese croissant sandwich had about 330 calories. That's lower than a larger breakfast that I would have had if I wanted at Perkins restaurant. If I buy a medium-sized breakfast at Perkins, it's at least 700 calories or more. Yeah. So I'm headed to a fishing area in Sarasota where I could fly my drone and essentially keep an eye on it, because I'm not going out here to fly to make a cinematic overhead video. I'm just going to take it out to stretch its legs, and also to keep me familiar with the controls of my drone. Many people don't do this and they get rusty. They don't download fresh apps to their phone or their drone, and then when I get out there, something happens. Case in point, one of my co-workers took out his drone after almost a year of not flying it and not keeping the downloads of software current. He went on a trail and he flew it over a river and a lake. He was monitoring his flight on his control and also iPhone, where he can see where he's going, but he didn't have a visual on it per se. And then all he saw and heard was a drone saying landing, and it landed in the lake, never to be seen again. He saw it go down in the water from his camera, from his onboard camera on the drone. It went in the lake. That has happened to a lot of people. Sometimes you truly can't help it. It's not your fault. But sometimes it is your fault. When it says landing, you have a full charge of battery and something went wrong. He could have easily brushed on a control button or something, or maybe his software wasn't up to speed, and something happened. Yeah, I don't want that to be me. Okay, I don't want that to be me. I know that when you're flying over a large body of water, you have to watch your height. You can't be too far up, and you can't be too close to the water. You know, too far up could cause the drone to get confused by the reflection of the water. The sensors could get confused and think that maybe you're too close to the surface or whatever, or lose its coordinates. I don't know. So also, when I got my egg and cheese croissant sandwich, I bought a scratch ticket. I usually get a Powerball ticket as well. I may do it later at some point, I don't know. But I bought a $2 million scratch ticket. When I go home later, I'll scratch it off. You never know. This is scratch ticket number 54 out of the roll of 100 or 1,000 or whatever the rolls are. It's a beautiful day for a motorcycle ride. When I had my motorcycle, I never rode my bike during the week. Just on when I had Sundays off. Sunday mornings are the best time to ride, because Sunday mornings traffic is low. And I would not ride in the city. I'd have to go somewhere where it was a lower population and low traffic. Yeah, I've seen too many horrific accidents and fatalities concerning motorcycles and motorists. There was a death right on my street of my community where I live. A 17-year-old boy was killed on the way to his girlfriend's house. Well, he never arrived. And the woman who killed him lives in my neighborhood. Yeah. That was a horrible, horrible day. Yep. I don't want to get too deep into this topic of motorcycle fatalities, but it happens. I'm debating whether I should go to the 4th of July event downtown in Sarasota. I may not go. I may or I may not go. I don't like a lot of crowds. Lots of crowds and traffic is just, it's too stressful for me. So, because I do have that day off, I will go out during the day, which I might take out my drone and do some nice overhead cinematic videos, because it is a day off from both jobs, and I'm definitely going to sleep in. I didn't sleep in today. I don't consider quarter of 9 or quarter of 8 sleeping in. I consider 9:30 sleeping in, you know. Yeah, I gotta be at the yacht club today, and I have this feeling like it's going to be a very, very busy night at the yacht club. I don't have to do no groceries today. I got some grapes at home. I got plenty of juice. And right now, I'm just not very hungry anymore. I just had my little sandwich and protein shake. And as you know, I don't pack a lunch to go to the yacht club. They got food there. And I feel pretty good right now. I feel energized. There's something that's going on in my mind that I just can't shake loose. You know what that is? There's always this crazy, funky desire to go back to Massachusetts. But I know that in my heart of hearts, I know that I can't afford to live by myself there. Because rent is just too high. I can't afford it. The only way that I would go back to Massachusetts to live and be closer to my son, even though we don't have a relationship, is if I hit the lottery, if I get a huge windfall, that I can buy my own little place. Because I can't see myself paying $1,200 a month for a 1-bedroom. It's just not doable. So it's a 4th of July weekend, and in Sarasota, what happens on 4th of July weekends is the boat races. They have the cigarette and speedboat races in Sarasota every year. I went last year, and if you guys want to look for the speedboat race of 2021, you'll find it. This year I'm not going to go, and I'm not going to videotape it. It didn't bring in a lot of views, or maybe my tags were not tagged appropriately. I didn't tape the race, but I taped the unloading of the boats off of the trailers, and I taped when they were starting up the motors and all that stuff. And I'm not a big speedboat fan. I'm not a big NASCAR fan, okay? I'm not a big motorcycle racing fan. I don't care for that. But I just thought that when I videotaped the speedboats last year, I thought that maybe some of my viewers would be interested, but they really weren't. They weren't interested. Maybe I need to go back and check on to see how many views it has acquired since then. I was talking to one of my coworkers and also a customer how much downtown Sarasota has grown. They're building $1 million condominiums, high rises, every year. Within the past 2 years, they built at least 3 or 4, and they're starting up a new one even before they're finished with the last one. But of course, they have different construction companies going at it at the same time. Yep. But that's exciting. What does that mean to me? To me, it means that somebody's lying about something. They're saying the economy is as low as it's ever been. You know, the economy and the cost of living has really gone up. But you look around, you see new buildings going up everywhere, and new gas stations being built everywhere. I don't understand it. I mean, who owns these big buildings? Who's buying them and who's having them built? Just don't get it. So anyways, I'm going to shut down until I get to the area where I'll be taking off with my drone. If not, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Alright guys, so I have spent almost 2 hours here flying my drone, and I was also making experimental adjustments on my drone today depending on the circumstances. I took my drone as far as I could, and I noticed that the transmission signal was saying signal weak. So that made me worried, because if you fly out too far in an area where your radio signal is weak, then you may lose contact with your drone. So because it kept saying it was off and on, signal weak, then it would revert back to signal, and then signal weak, revert back to signal, I stopped it and I looked at my control panel and it said connection lost. So I'm already like 3 miles away from me, over ocean and land, and I start to panic. So I assumed the drone was just flying in one place because it said connection lost. So I hit the return home key, and I wasn't getting no signal back, so I panicked. I was about to pack my gear, and when I did that, I hit the key that said locate drone. As I'm walking back to my chair that's seated on the ground with my stuff, I kept hitting return home, and I wasn't getting no signal. I thought my drone was lost, or it may be a crash somewhere, or maybe it's just hovering in place about 400 feet off the ground somewhere. So all of a sudden, I lost all my screen visual, couldn't see anything. I recorded a flight path, and as I stood there packing my stuff to go in the car to go locate my drone, I heard the drone I heard it fly back to me. So it flew back to me, and it landed right on my blue landing pad. Boy, was I nervous. It flew back to me on its own. So I thought to myself, that's it. I don't want to fly past my sight of sight. That means that if I can't see it, then I'm not flying that far out anymore. And it came back, and I flew it off the ground where I can see it, and I started looking at what happened. My theory is that there's too much radio signal interference out here, because on my phone, on the drone app, it said that I had 4 bars for radio signal. That's the highest signal you can have. But I kept getting a warning that it was weak signal. When I was out there lost, I tried pointing the antenna, okay, out to where the drone was. I didn't know if that was working or not. But since it flew back by itself, it must have found a break in the signal, and when I hit home, it came back. But usually when I hit home, it would tell me returning home. In a very female, sexy voice, it would say that. Returning home. It didn't do that, so I thought I was lost. That's why I was packing my stuff, and I was going to track the flight on my maps and try to locate the beeping sound. But it, as you know, it flew back to me, and it landed exactly from where it took off from. So that's what happened. I panicked. Now I went out flying again on a separate direction. I went half as far. I went all the way to the other side of the island where I couldn't even see it. I had full strength signal. When it came back, I had to investigate on my app and my settings what could have happened the first time. So when it flew back, it didn't fly back because I pressed return home. It flew back on its own without me calling it, because it's preset to return to home when it detects a weak signal or no signal. When it stops receiving signal from my radio, I had it preset to automatically fly back on its own. I'm so glad I did that. I must have did it when I set it up when I first bought it. Okay? If it wasn't for that preset, I would have lost my drone today. It's right there, clear as day. The switch is on. Fly back when signal is lost, and that's what it did. My God, when I heard that drone flying back to me, I heard its propeller 400 feet up in the sky. Oh, I was so relieved. But this is how you learn. You have to lose the fear to learn how to manage these things. Is it a good idea for me to fly in close proximity and not get the full function of my drone and its capabilities? No. I paid almost $2,000 for my gear, and it would be a shame not to use it to its full capacity. However, the second time I flew way out there today, past the island from where I was out of sight, and I trusted it because the signal was showing full strength and it wasn't showing a weak signal. Maybe the first route that I took, there could have been a lot of radio signals in that area. If there's boats here that has cellular signals or radio signals, it's quite possible that it could get mixed up and I would lose my signal. But I tried changing signal bands and it kept doing the same thing, so that wasn't a problem. The factory preset has it on dual band, okay? So it automatically reverted back to a dual band on its own. So now I know where I can fly and where I can't fly. Because if I was to fly back where signal was weak, and I'm taking a chance, so I won't fly that area anymore. I'll go the opposite direction, which is out towards the ocean, and the big sky rises out in Longboat Key, where it had 100% signal and there was no warning of a weak signal or no signal. Wow. I almost had a heart attack, guys. But I'm happy that it was preset on returning home when signal is lost. Wow. So I'm done. I used up all my 3 batteries that were charged. I left about 20 to 25% of power remaining, and I'll leave it like that, and in a few weeks I'll charge it up again, or another month. I'll never let it drain out completely on its own. But I had fun. I will edit some of the film I made and show you guys. The skies are beautiful. The cinematic flyovers over different islands was beautiful, and you can see all the big high rises by the water. It's awesome. So I hope you guys have a wonderful 4th of July weekend. I should be YouTubing on 4th of July, but I don't think I'll be going to see any fireworks. To me, it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't do nothing for me. So, see you guys soon. Hi guys, hey, I'm back here in my room, and I did a few things around the house, but driving here from Sarasota, I thought about my flight path, my altitude. I think it wasn't so much the flight path and that the signal of my radio with my drone. I think what happened was I might have been flying too high. I was flying at 400 feet, which does weaken your transmission. So I thought about that, and I thought about, what if I had gone 300 feet or maybe even 250 feet? There would have been no buildings or no power wires anywhere for me to hit. So I think the culprit might have been the altitude, maybe some poor radio signals, but I'm not sure. I think my altitude had more to do with anything of me creating a low signal, ending in a lost connection. So that's what I wanted to say. Right now I'm home. I'm just chilling out here. I'm a little bit tired. I spent a lot of time with my drone today, and I don't have no errands except I just want to relax before I go to the Sarasota Yacht Club. Right now I'm having some yogurt with strawberry preserves because these people never put enough strawberries in here. So once again, I hope you guys have a nice weekend and you enjoyed my video.